Good evening once again, wonderful family of friends and farmers. You are warmly welcome to Benga Nature Farms. Today, we are going to discuss why our snails die in our snail farms. Many people do not know the reasons why their snails keep dying. In today's video, it's going to be filled up with useful information, 9 good tips why snail farmers keep losing their snails in their farms. I'm sure you really want to know all of these fine points. They are 9 in number. So please, I want you to stay right with me from the beginning of this video right to the end so that you'll be able to get to know these 9 points that makes snail farmers to keep losing their snails in their farms. It's promised to be very interesting points that you're going to learn from. So let's dive right into the very first point. Point 1. Old age is one of the most common causes why snails die. Snails are extremely sensitive to high levels of toxins in the water used to wet them. So if you neglect regular water changes or wetting the snail pen regularly, the water's ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate levels may rise and your snails could die. Point number 2, why snails die. Food. Good food. Freshly cut fruit and vegetables such as cucumber, carrots, lettuce, and sweet potato. These are good foods that snails love. Also remember to replace the food every 2 days or even every day once they fail to finish the ones you serve them. The food can be placed in a small flat dish or even directly on the floor of the pen. Like all mollusks and slugs, snails do not survive in direct sunlight or dry heat. That is why they require moist or wet environment. Consequently, do not allow them to be overcrowded. Although snails enjoy each other's company, so consider getting more than one snail, but avoid overcrowding. If you give snails a comfortable home and care for them properly, they can live for so many years. So, if you fail to feed them with good food such as mentioned above, like giving them cucumber, giving them watermelon, giving them lettuce, giving them sweet potato leaves, carrots, these are food that they love. And if you fail to intentionally feed them like this every day, you can be losing your snails one by one. Point number 3. If the conditions are too hot or too cold or dry, the snails will hide and become inactive, and a thin mucocarcerous skin may form over the aperture of the shell of the snail. The snail may then estivate, that is, they become dormant for several months or even die if the temperature is too low. That is why, to avoid your pen getting too hot, you need to put a roof over it. And this also helps your pen not to be overflooded with water. So pens that are not roofed is either they are too hot because of the direct impact of the sunlight, or they get flooded because they are not well roofed. Number 4, why snails die. Soldier ants. One of the things that could be responsible for the death of snails is ants. Make sure that soldier ants aren't gaining access to your pen. Again, you want to make sure that they are not overcrowded, just as I said before, because this may result in starvation to some. Make sure you are giving them fresh foods and changing the waste from time to time. Number 5 reasons why snail farmers lose their snails. Avoid giving your snails homemade cooked food that has salt. If you want your snails to die, you can give them salty food, because snails absorb from their mollusk these salts from salty food, and the salt in this salty food dehydrates and kill them. So please, farmers, please avoid giving them rice, plantain, yam cooked with salt, leftover food from your house, and throwing them in the snail pen. The salt in those food can kill your snails. I trust you are benefiting from the reasons why snails die. I've enumerated 5 reasons now. I believe you are enjoying these 5 tips in order for you to be able to avoid your snails from dying. So now, if you are enjoying it, please say thank you in the description of this video. But let's continue with the video now. Let's dive in to point number 6, right to point number 9. Point number 6. Avoid cracks and holes in your pen that allows other enemies or predators from penetrating your snail pen. Snails and slugs have many natural enemies, especially ants, soldier ants to be precise. Also inclusive are ground beetles, rats and pathogens, snakes, toads, and both domestic and wild birds. Fire ants and flatworms also attack and devour fulica species of snail, especially when they are very young. So make sure your pen is well sealed to avoid any crevices or cracks or holes where these predators can penetrate your pen and do harm to your snails. Number 7 point. Excessive water or flooding of snail pens. Pouring water on your snails, it will not help you at all. It can result in flooding of your pen. So if you feel like helping the snails, put them in a shady, damp place and wet the pen gently. You can use your hand to wet, or you can even use a wetting material just to wet the pens, not to pour water directly on the snails. This can cause a sudden deluge of water in the pen, and over flooding of the pen can kill your snails. Number 8. Regular pen cleaning. Please, always, I repeat, always remove old and decaying food remains by cleaning up the pen of their feces to avoid them attracting ants and other predators to the snail pen. Yes, we want to do that on a regular basis. We want to make sure that our snail pens are regularly cleaned. You can clean the remains of their food on a daily basis. Then also make sure you clean up the pen for their debris or their feces that are in their pen, to make the pen clean and to avoid it attracting ants and other predators. Number 9. Lack of calcium. Mortality was very high in snails deprived of calcium, and when they are deprived of calcium, the snails will produce less eggs, and at times will not even produce eggs at all. In the long run, we find that these snails will have a kind of whitish coloration on their skin. Feeding of snails with calcium really matters a lot. Some farmers do not know this. In the first feeding peak, the amount of food and calcium ingested by the snails increased in the first 3 months of their life cycle. Calcium concentrate intakes makes the shell of snails to be firm and strong, and it makes them also to avoid shell discoloration or having a whitish shell, which is a form of lack of calcium, and this can make their shells to fall off and break, and hence it exposes them to what? Predators. That's going to be all for this topic. Thank you for viewing this video. You have seen the 9 reasons why some snail farmers lose their snails in their farm. Please, you want to avoid all of this that I've just mentioned. Please, if you like this video, drop your comment in the comment section in the description below. Also, you will see other videos that I've released. Please, I want you to say a big thank you to me if you love this video. Please, I want to subscribe to Benga Nature Farms. I want you to share this video with your friends and families and other snail farmers alike. Please, as we continue to eat foods that are healthy, and in order for us to stay strong, please, let's continue to remain healthy as we eat this food. Bye-bye.